Welcome to day 4 of our 2024 Qigong Intensive. Today is dedicated to the water element, the season of winter in traditional Chinese medicine. It's our kidney and bladder meridians when out of balance, maybe fear, insecurity, anxiety. When in balance, you start to flow, start to move, have willpower, have desire. So we'll be exploring all those things as an embodied practice. Just encourage you, as we always do, to start just by maybe an image, a watery image of dropping an anchor and arriving into practice. You might like to just take a few breaths. And we'll start in our body, taking our hands behind the back. And just rest right at the base of your spine, either side of your spine are your kidneys. And just above the kidneys are the adrenals, the home of stress hormones in the body, like cortisol and adrenaline. When we're always planning, always ahead, often we release stress hormones and our body just doesn't have enough time to repair. So you might like to just bring your attention underneath the palms. And just trust that your body knows how to repair when our habits are a little more embodied and when we focus on practice, focus on giving our body time to heal. All right, let's take the palms down. We're going to inhale, lift up, reach up, and invite in new learning, new energy. And then sense of letting go and making some space for whatever is next. All right, let's bring our feet together. And first point we're going to start on today is kidney number 1, Yongchen. It's the bubbling spring, and it's right, if you curl your toes under, there's like a natural dimple in between big toe and second toe towards the center of your foot, not in the center, but just find it. And you might like to just bring your thumbs to that point on each foot. Join the feet together, maybe. Sense of energy moving inwards. So this is the only acupuncture or acupressure point on the bottom of our foot. It's a place of grounding and connection to the earth. Just bring your attention there. You might like to just let your body sway a little. Head always wants to be upright, so allow a little more flow. Let go of that need to control. Allow yourself to be in the flow of life, always ups and downs. And we do these practices to come back to balance, letting the downs be there and not getting too proud or excited when we're on upswing. In the Tao, it says, chapter 8, I think it is, the supreme good is like water, which flows through all things and nourishes everything in its path. It keeps to the low places that other people ignore. So in your dwelling, choose to live close to the ground. In your thinking, keep everything simple. When governing, don't try and control. And when in conflict, be fair and generous. In your work, do what you enjoy. And in your family life, be completely present. When you are content and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. Words of the Tao Te Ching, the book of the way. the kind of template of these practices that we're doing. Let's just do 2 more points. We'll move to our bladder meridian, right in the middle of the calf muscle, these group of muscles at the back of our shin. So we want to be sort of halfway between our ankle and our knee. This one is bladder 57, a point that I really like. Just bring the flat of your thumb there. You might take some small circles. Can sometimes help with a bit of lower back pain if you have any of that. We want to be right in the middle of the mango of our muscle. Can't really miss it. And you might like to come back to medium, or you can sit cross-legged if you like. We're going to come directly behind our belly button. If you trace a line from where your navel is to the back of the spine, either side of the spine, this is bladder 23. And sometimes this area in Chinese medicine is called the Mingmen, home of Jing, home of desire. This idea that we get a lot of our character traits from our ancestors. In Western medicine, we'd call it genes, but in Chinese medicine, this idea of Jing connects with our parents and all the traumas and stress they might have had in their lives, carried through to us. And you might like to just bring the palms together, create some heat, and then just bring that heat back to the back of the body. So today we're going to be trying to do these forms that help us regulate the stress hormones in the body. When we're always planning and strategizing and creating goals, sometimes we create too much of a gap between who we are and who we want to be. So we come back to the body through practice, just taking the next step, starting to flow, not setting ourselves up to fail by having too much of an end goal. Sometimes fear can exhibit itself as lack of financial security or fear of losing a partner or a friend. It might be fear of just getting old, the inevitability of our wrinkly future and death. Whatever kind of fear is just about getting too far ahead of where we are. So today's practice, we'll just see if we can bring our attention back into the body. All right, let's come up to stand. Well, first, before we do any forms, we might just do a little bit of warm up of the joints. Let's start with our wrists. You might like to stretch the fingers out. Let's see if we can shift our weight from one foot to the other. Just stack head over the one leg and then to the other side. Let's see if we can take our hands to hips and we'll just raise a heel, roll that heel. And then we'll shift to the other side, roll the heel. And back. Let's take one heel up and we'll just slowly shift our weight side to side. Keep breathing. Let's roll our hips. And we'll roll our shoulders. We'll take one arm down the side. Take a breath as you come up, and same on the other side. And just slowly opening, allowing. Let's take one arm across the body. Let's draw it in. And then same on the other side. Both arms behind the back, interlace the fingers, draw the palms together and crack open the chest. And let's take the upper body all the way down. We'll keep the hands together. Allow the shoulder blades to draw in, let the head be heavy. And then we'll slowly curl back up. And once we're up, we'll roll the shoulders again. Let's take both arms behind the back, curl the shoulder blades in, and then reach them forward. And we'll keep going in that same pattern. And one more time. And just let the arms be heavy. So today we might do 5 or 6 forms. We'll keep it fairly simple, just like every day in this intensive. And the idea is that you might remember some of these forms, come back to them in your own time, in your own practice. Each form is helping with a specific thing that's going on with your body. So whenever you have sense of lower back not feeling right, you might like to try some of these water element forms. Let's take the first one. We'll take one hand to our lumbar spine, knuckles to the spine. And just bring your attention underneath the knuckles. This is where our kidneys and adrenals are. So you might like to take a breath or two here. With our other hand, we're going to sweep down. Now drop the weight in the back of the body. So tailbone goes down. Don't have to go too low. And we're going to follow the fingers as they come up. Turn the palm and then sigh out as they sweep down. See if you can keep your eyes on your fingers. Remembering, doesn't matter how low you go. Notice that deep twist underneath the knuckles. Just let your body ease into the movement. So one of my favorite Taoist stories is about a person who goes to find the answer to the meaning of life. They want to go to visit a monk they've heard about. A long way away in a monastery, they go on a great journey. When they get there and ask the question, the monk just asks them a question in return. The monk says, "What is the shape of water?" Let's take our hand behind. We're going to switch sides. And the man thinks this is an odd kind of question and ponders for a moment and says, I don't know. The monk pours some water into a cup. What is the shape of water? He says again. The man says, is it round? And the monk pours the cup of water into a vase. What is it now? And the man decides he knows. He says, oh, I think I know. It can be any shape. And then the monk pours the water from the vase onto the sand on the floor and it all disappears. What is the shape of water, says the monk. By now, the person is not too sure. looks confused. The monk beckons him with finger, takes him outside the monastery, points up at the gutter, and then points down to the ground. At the bottom under the gutter, you can see that the rock has worn away. There's a kind of deep crevice in the rock. What is the shape of this water, the monk says? So water can be dissolved, it can be strong enough to carve a hole in a rock. It can be taken in any vessel. The thing with water is it's close to reality. Let's come back up. It adapts. Bring your hands to the spine, just bring your attention underneath the palms. So water stays close to reality, always adapting where it's needed. It might be a drop one day, it might be a tidal wave the next. It can be gentle, can be powerful. All right, let's shake out. Next form we'll do is a form called plucking stars, taking to the Big Dipper. So same kind of star, one hand to the spine. We're going to reach up behind the body. You might like to watch this first. Take a breath. As you sigh out, take that hand across the sky above the head. Eyes stay on the palm. Inhale back to the center. And now we're going to sigh out. And as the palm crosses the dantian in the middle of the body, we switch hands, keeping the sigh going. Now inhale, take that hand across and behind. Sigh out, hand comes across. Once you get the shape, you can follow in your own breath. Letting go. Inhaling as you lift. Sighing out as you turn. Inhale, coming back to the center. Letting go. Can you find a sense of fluidity here? No gap, no break. Let's bring the palms back onto the lumbar spine. And you might like to just shake out and deep sigh. Can we notice something that might be shifting? And arms come back down. Next shape we'll do is a dragon form. So we're going to be starting with an empty step. Empty step just means we bring our weight over one leg. You can mirror me if you like. The other leg is bent. And maybe the toes are on the ground or the ball of the foot's on the ground, the bubbling spring point. Heel is raised. And we're going to have our lower hand at the level of our dantian, upper hand at the level of heart. Drop the shoulders, drop the elbows. Standing leg a little bit bent, not locked in at the knee joint. All right, when you're ready, we're going to take a breath in. You might like to just watch this first one as you'll be looking away from the camera. I'm going to step out, heel, and then toe, and then bottom arm is going to extend away. Front arm, top arm is going to become the tail of the dragon. And just turn your arms as far as they want to go, keeping you steady and stable. Now we're going to lean back. Hand and foot are going to move together, elbow and knee, shoulder and hip, the three external harmonies, rolling back through the center. Take that hand to the top and then step back. So now we set up for the other side, breathing in, join in when you like. Sighing out, heel, toe, roll the arm out, hip and shoulder, turn with the hand. Lean back, lift the toe, turning back. Hand comes on top, and we step back. And you find a flow. Keep your attention underneath the standing leg. And let's do one more time. And the hands come back down onto the body. Take a moment, scan through the whole body. What can we observe? Next form we'll do, well, you'll know from the Shabasha series of forms, if you've ever done the 18 forms. And we do it in a bow stance. A bow stance, if from side on, looks something like this, knees stacked over ankle. Back leg also a little bit bent, toes turned in a little. And you should make sure that your bow stance, your feet are wide enough that you feel stable and steady, not like this. So once we're in our bow stance, just take your attention down to that bubbling spring point, kidney number 1. Press down through the balls of the feet. Make sure you feel strong and steady and stable. So this form, we're going to be shifting our weight. So we roll forward, and we roll back, but we want our spine to be fairly straight. We're not reaching too far. And the form is usually just called pushing waves. Of course, cannot push a wave. Wave does everything in its own time. So you might start by sighing out, curl the wave back in, draw in, take a new breath, and then sigh out. Now, waves also don't stop. So see if you can find that connection between the flow of the movement and the breath in the body. Take your time, just listening to the breath. We want our push to come from our legs, not so much our hands. Notice how steady and stable lower body is. Let's step the feet together and we'll switch sides. Same movement, starting in the bow stance. When you're ready, and one more. And stepping back together. And let's take our hands back to the kidneys again. And then just down by the side of the body. Let's do a form from the Bhagwan Jin series of forms, the 8 brocades. This one, we start, palms turned up, and we're going to lift up, maybe lean back a little, and then turn the palms and sigh out. When the hands get to the level of the heart, pause the breath and turn them up. Now we're going to inhale and draw the hands behind the body. And then sigh out, and we'll trace our bladder meridian all the way down the back of the body. Big sigh, letting go. Press through the feet. We're going to reach forward and take the hands all the way above the head. Big breath in. Maybe leaning back. And sigh out. Pause the breath. Turn the palms up again. Take them behind. Big breath in. And sighing out. All right, you know the pattern. Trust your body knows the movement. And just start to explore it. Press through the feet as we lift up. And letting go. With a strong form. Take a break if you need to at any point. Kidneys have 190 liters of blood flow through them every single day. So our body at any one time usually has about 5 liters of blood. But the kidneys are processing that 5 liters of blood all day, every day, purifying our blood, removing toxins and waste through the liquids in our body. Deep sigh as you letting go. And one more time, let's lift up, reaching up. And sighing out. Arms can come back onto the body. I like to just say, this is my goal, this is my destination. Just to be still, allowing my body to heal. We always think the more we do, the more we achieve, but usually this is not true. The more we do, we just stay in our habit energy, repeating behaviors, even if they don't serve us. So maybe today, instead of all the doing activity, we just allow ourselves to just notice these processes in the body that happen when we're still. Our heart rate slows, our blood pressure drops. You might be conscious of blood flow, a little more oxygen flowing through the body, more clarity, better decisions for our lives. Okay, starting to flow. Let's try a form usually called teacups, very classic Qigong form. We'll start with our knuckles on our spine again. And this one we're going to see if we can just flow with our breath. So we start by sighing out, creating space, taking a palm in front of the body, turned up. And you might like to mirror me. Reach forward. We're going to inhale as we take that hand behind the back. Turn the fingers in towards the body. Keep the palm face up as you curl it back under. Might like to watch if this is too confusing, if you're turning yourself into a pretzel. Inhaling as our hand lifts, pausing the breath, exhaling as our palm comes across and down. Notice this sense of shifting weight side to side, pressing down through that bubbling spring point. Feel sense of stability. Upper body is yielding, allowing. Lower body is stable and steady. This is the yin and yang of Qigong. Can we be both? Can we be both yielding and steady? Sometimes if we yield too much, we become a pushover. Sometimes if we're too steady, we become stuck in our ways and the world moves past us or against us. So we use these forms to see if we can be both. Stable and steady and adaptable. Let's switch. So this time when we sweep our hand, we're going to bring it back to the spine, and then our other hand is going to take over. And when you're ready, maybe one more. And then we'll bring our hands back, last little bit of heat against the spine. Let's take our whole body and just let it be heavy. We're going to keep our feet flat to the ground, bubbling spring pressing down. And see if you can just feel like someone's just kind of chopping at the back of your knees. So knees start being soft. And without necessarily doing anything with the rest of your body, just let it hang heavy. See if you can consciously release any tension in your neck, in your hips, shoulders, chest, fingers. Let's do the same with our face muscles. 43 muscles in the face. What can we find? We might lift our eyebrows, soften around our eyes, lift the cheeks or the lips, a little bit of a smile. You might like to drop the jaw. You might like to clamp the teeth shut, activate the masseter muscle in the cheek chewing muscle. So just any way you'd like to in the body, just bring your attention there. And let's slowly come back to stillness. What can we observe? All right, hands up to the body. Fingers might start just under the collarbone. And again, just bring your attention underneath the fingers, wherever they might land. We'll extend down one arm. And that hand over, come up the outside of the other arm, shoulder. Let's go to the other side. And the arm over. Down the middle of the sternum. Maybe you rub the belly. Let's come around back to the kidneys. Create some heat here. And then we'll knock and come all the way down the outside of the body. Let your arms just hang. You might like to ragdoll a little side to side. And slowly coming up the inside line of the leg. And once we're standing, we're just going to let our arms be heavy. Let's bring our hands up. We're going to split our fingers. So there's two fingers on each side, a kind of V shape. And bring them up, just two fingers behind the ear and two fingers in front. And we're going to press in and push up. See if you can feel crown of your head lifting, spine along. You might like to slow the movement down. And then just tugging on the earlobes. And shaking out. All right, we'll bring our palms together at heart center. You might like to rest the knuckles right up against the middle of the sternum. We give ourselves enough time to acknowledge our choice to practice, our decision to prioritize practice in our life today. And then let's acknowledge how great it is to have some accountability partners to practice with. You might like to just acknowledge anyone else practicing with you today. If this is a recording, just acknowledge the presence of the people that did it in the past. Let's take a bow. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow for day 5.